Heck yeah. All right. Let's see if I can get that just a little bit closer. Just a little bit. Right about there. Yeah, you can see what you're looking at that way. That's what we're after. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I got that hanging there. And before I get started, there was something I wanted to do and I forgot about it. Actually, I got an oil jug sitting up there. That's not going to work. It ended up coming tumbling down. Not that it would really matter, but anyway, I needed to emphasize these trees that I wanted to stand out. Kind of by their position, which ones should pop and which ones should be in behind. And I forgot to do that. Anyway, so there's that, and this one, same thing. Okay, yeah. Okay, that'll help me out a little bit. All right, so we got Bigfoot and bald eagle on his shoulder, kind of like he's a pirate. You know, he's a forest pirate, and he's got a bald eagle. I'll bet it's ox. And I had to be a little careful. I'll tell you, once I put these on, fired up the saw here a few minutes ago, and there was an earwig in there. And I'm just glad that thing's not crawling around in my ear now. How about that? All right, so I don't really think that this will take too long as far as the chainsaw carving part, because we're going to do quite a bit of this inside with the flex shaft. But we're going to dig all this out and dig all the trees out, dig the basic shape out, and then probably try to put our lines in our tree, the chainsaw, and then we'll move in there flex shaft carving. So let's see what we got. Yeah, it's pretty good so far. The trees actually kind of look like real pointy mountains, but that's not what we're going for. That said, be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Appreciate you guys being in there. 24 of 258 people watching. I'm sure if y'all all smash a like really, really fast, that'd be super duper awesome. Anyway, I appreciate you guys being in here. That there, I'm gonna move that screw out of the way because I can cut on through there. It actually could probably be in, maybe in the moon. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna just put it over here somewhere, and I can always follow back up and fill it later. But what I do know is it was in the way for me to go ahead and continue. So there we go. And I don't care if that thing's got a couple holes in it. You can crack fill them, but by the time you paint it, really nobody notices it. Bigfoot a haircut already and he ain't even done. What the heck? Cut out. We got the trees shaped in. Now it's time to make our general kind of shape around the Bigfoot and the eagle, and we'll see how this goes. Anyway, be sure to smash that like. Hey, we got somebody give us $1. Man, that's awesome. All right, guys, be sure to hit that like button. We sure appreciate y'all being here. and up around the eagle and go from there. But yeah, give him a little trim, but I can dig that out. That ain't gonna be no problem to deal with. That one's out of fuel. We'll work our way on over to this one. It hasn't started yet today, but that's it. We'll make her happen. So it's looking pretty good, and I dig this out. I like this rough texture, and even though there'll be some tree, and I'll have to figure out probably with the flex shaft where we're going to put the ends of the trees. I don't know, but I'll try to dig around the eagle head as best as I can, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut in some of the like little brushy indications of the tree, you know, whatever. But anyway, appreciate y'all being in there. Be sure to hit that like button. Appreciate you guys. Whoever give me $1.17 is just the most awesome person in the world. Anyway, be sure to hit that like button. All right, we'll get going. Come on, Helen, come on, let's go. I got out there as far as I want to go with the chainsaw. I'll finish up the flex shaft. But anyway, so next thing I'm going to do, I probably will go ahead and cut some of this out. I'll tell you what, let me do that first so you get kind of a general idea of the shape. And then I'll do these here. About this cut. Put that block back in there. The purpose of that block is to keep me from just being absent-minded and end up hitting the jaw vise with the saw. So, and that's it. That's the only reason that's there. It's kind of a protection for the chain and for me in general. But okay, so go ahead and get the arms, this top arm out here a little bit. I guess I better do the bottom first. It looks a little easier, but you can't hardly see it, but it's got a thumbs up right now. I'm thinking about changing that to him holding a morel mushroom, but we'll see. Okay, remember, I'm giving my Bigfoot a 6-pack, and I'm just going to leave those lines alone for now so I don't forget about them. But I'll go ahead and dig the arm out, and then I'm going to do the tree. Open up, Don. I'm safe from there. I probably better stop there with the arm. looking at it and seeing if there's really anything else I could do with the chainsaw. I could shape the moon out a little better and cut it back a little bit more around the edges, kind of to match back in here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll have to move into the flex shaft. So we'll do that. But anyway, be sure to hit that like button. We appreciate you guys being in there. All right. Stage one is complete. We can pull this dude off and take it into the garage, and we'll start hitting it with the flex shaft. Oh man, I'll tell you, I got sawdust all over me, sawdust all over my grandma, my grandpa, my uncle, sisters, cousins, cousin Larry and Wanda. Everybody's got chains. Everybody's got dust on them now. Don't tell them. I don't want them to know. They get mad at egg my house, tear my car up, cut all my tires with a knife. You never know people these days. People are pretty crazy. Okay, so take that off. Let me set these screws over here so I don't lose them. And we'll take us into stage two, and then you guys don't know what I'm talking about. So the next stage in this is we're going to use a flex shaft, and we're going to carve this dude. We're going to carve Bigfoot's face in it and all that stuff, give it a lot of detail. Hey, Billy Shoemate, what's going on? Matthew, Perry, what's going on? Hey, Joshua, dude, nice to meet you, man. Susie Q, what's going on? Okay, so here's what we got, guys. Let's take this thing on in there, and we'll set it over here to flex shaft, and we'll start working on his face and stuff and dig this guy out. You know, hopefully he's going to be a smiley Bigfoot. Now, look, I could screw this up, and I am by no means a professional. Find one. I don't know where you'll find one at. There's a few. Now, if you guys, there are 376 people watching. If you have not checked out Creation Dust 777, he is the best chainsaw carver you're ever going to watch. And I'm telling you, he's the best YouTube chainsaw carver. He puts on the best show, and he live streams it. So he is the real deal. Be sure and check him out. And we got a lot of other good people in here too. Rhinestone Suzanne, the Carving Wizard, man, they're awesome carvers themselves. And hey, Matthew, he's put out some pretty cool stuff too. You know, we got a pretty big community carvers that do different stuff. So anyway, here's stage two. We're gonna set this thing down. We're gonna dig the face out and start working on the body, the Bigfoot and the eagle with the flex shafts. Let's see. Looks like we're gonna, and I'm gonna have to do a lot of leaning over this. I'll do the best I can to stay out of the picture, but I don't know. We'll find out. We're going to see how this goes. Okay, let me get this on. And since I'm in here, I'm going to get my, maybe, if it'll work, I'm going to get my, yeah, if. It's a big if. How about that? Let's see. I guess what I'm getting at was I want to get my own tablet going so I can kind of see what I'm doing a little better. And this ain't necessarily going this way. Okay, well, what I will do, what I can do, and what I should do is survey says drink beer. How about that? All right, let's get this dust collection system going. And we'll get to work on this turkey. So what I got is, right here are these holes, this dust collection system. And I don't know how good this is gonna work with a big piece like this, you know. I mean, it's got a long ways to make it there. But that said, I'll be wearing an RZ mask so that I don't breathe the dust in regardless, and I think that's probably the most important thing right there. Now, you guys ain't gonna be able to hear me. I'll scream, I'll try to talk as loud as I can. Y'all just be sure and hit the like. It's very encouraging. I'm gonna start with the eagle and go from there. We gotta get the eagle done and then move on to Mr. Foot, aka the big guy. See, is that about right? Let's put it right here. Okay. Oh yeah, I got that in there. I can't reach it. Is that on the screen? Yeah. Okay. Take material out quicker around the edges. start giving him some lines, some wings, dig all that stuff out. Actually, I could probably dig his neck out before. I would think that these would be like conversations that Bigfoot and an eagle would have together. I don't know about y'all. Anyway, be nice people. Hit the like button. We sure appreciate you guys being in here. We're going for 200 likes tonight. And if I don't get 200 likes, my wife's, she's going to make me go to bed. Okay. All right. Let's follow that up with some inspiration real quick here. Sir Miller Lite. Well, I sure like this cup. And it's got a Bluetooth radio in the bottom of it. Now, it sounds like crap, don't get me wrong, but if you're out wandering around on the golf cart, you know, or just walking around your yard, drinking a can of beer in that nice cup, you know, it's still good to listen to some Isley tunes, Snake Wind Jr. or something, right? I don't know. Whatever you listen to. Okay. All right. Take it out. Center line for center. I'm holding it like that. Oh, yeah. He gave me this idea when I put out the poll, should I make Bigfoot smiling or make a bald eagle head yesterday? He said you ought to do both. That's what inspired me to do this. Yeah, very generous guy. He gave out 10. He gave out 10 memberships yesterday, and that's the second time he's done it on our channel. I thought that was awful generous of him. See it though. Yeah. Sorry about the head being in the shop. Just gonna have to be there for a minute while I do this. Turn on the position so you can make it through the shop. We ordered the head and the feet. One of the Eagle. He's looking pretty good. He's looking all right. I can't wait to paint him. I don't think that'll be tonight, but you just never know. All right, anyway, hit the like button. We appreciate you guys being in here. Give him some feather detail on this part of the wing and then in his head, and yeah, and he'll look pretty good. Appreciate you guys being in there. This is a good time. I'm having a good time. All right, where's that pointy bird at? It's just it's a little bit big of a piece, and I'm having to hang over a little bit to do the flex shaft carving part of it. And in hindsight, maybe it would have been better out kept it out the chainsaw carving candy. I don't know. But anyhow, I'll stick with you. one more thing, and that's an eye. And I think what I'm going to use is my smallest man paw. And honestly, it's probably too big, but my smallest man paw burr is this one right here. And I think it'll look cool. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway. Hey, you guys just hit the like button and let's see what happens, okay? How about that? Appreciate you guys being in here, that's for sure. We like doing this stuff. Normally we would do Sunday mornings, and we just kind of switched our schedule around to Friday nights, and then this was kind of a one-off on Saturday night. He's got an eye now, and I can paint it, but I'm so small I don't know if I will. But anyway, the Saturday night's kind of a one-off, and normally we would be on Sunday morning chainsaw carving. But I'll tell you, I'm pretty wore out. I was working on the pool today, and got pretty wore out, so I don't know if I'm gonna jack it. So, Bigfoot face, and I gotta tell you, I'm gonna have to somewhat lean over him with the width of this piece to work on it. I guess I could try going sideways too. Take that burr out, put that burr up. I need, always start with the eyes. I'm going to use this one for that. His face is kind of small, you know, it's a small piece. But anyway, dig in there, start with the eyes, around the nose, and dig. And this is the 4th time I tried to make a Bigfoot face, and the last 2 times come out pretty good. So I think it'll be all right. Survey says drink beer. Okay. All right. Let's mask back on. Do it some more. Do it too. You see the face? Go ahead, setting. Oh yeah. I'll have more. How's that look on the screen? Okay, you can see it. You're gonna see right here. pull the plate a little bit. Coming together good. If you guys are wondering what I'm using, the burr I'm using is a cut-saw burr. It's an 8. It's just a coarse, pointy burr. And this tool here is a V-bore 780 watt flex shaft. It'll do up to a quarter burr, so you can use your quarters and your 8s on the same one. I have this listed in my Amazon links. If you're interested in one of them, you can find it there. All right, I'm going to keep going. Start digging the mouth out now. I'm going to dig the cheeks. I got the cheeks dug out. It's kind of get curves around here, but then it dives back in right here to the side of the mouth. So let's get that. I'm going to have to dig in quite a bit despite that, but it'll be fun. All I know is you're watching, be sure to hit the like button and we'll keep right on the rocket. Rip this baby out. Okay. Man, some long ticks on there. Yeah, I wonder how many times the ditties had to be handed out tonight. Wouldn't be surprised if it's been a lot. Hey, Last Breath Woodworks, what's going on? Dylan's Handmade, Grayson Best 777, the best live stream chainsaw carver. He's the best carver in the world. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can kind of see it. It is what it is. Clean his teeth up a little bit. Let's give him a little dental floss. Get some of that black on. Face is the hard part. I mean, once you get the face, the rest of it's not too bad. Okay, I want to use that same burr that I used on the Eagle, or one bigger. I like bigger because it's scary looking, but that might be too big. Yeah, that's pretty big. Yeah, I better go with the same one I used for the I'm sure his eyes would really be bigger than that. That's it. This is a fun car. I'm having a good time with this. Just because it's quicker, we'll make him shaggy. We'll get his head haired up, and then we'll dig his arm and his hand out. And I'm debating, but I think I'm going to put him around mushroom right there. Let me get his head done first, and we'll go from there. it does. Covered up pretty good. I think the head looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. So I'm gonna start digging the hand out and stuff. Y'all be sure to hit that like button. If you kind of hard it off. But survey says drink beer. Okay, hold on. Second one of the day. After working at that stupid pool, I should have had 50 of them. And work him. Yeah, let's zoom out a little bit and work him over. See what we can get. Heck yeah. Hey, somebody give us another $5. That's pretty nice. Yeah, I appreciate that. You guys are all right. overweight fat American Bigfoot like the rest of us. We want him to be a big old muscular guy. Looks like he's ripped to hell. It's doing pretty good. You can see what I'm doing, right? Yeah. Okay. That was important. I wanted to make sure. Let me run out there and shut the lights off real quick in my apartment, Danny. It sounds like it's getting ready to storm. I'll be right back. That's what I thought I heard. Yeah, it sure sounded like some thunder out there, but that's life, you know? I mean, it's just the way it goes. All right, let's do it. Hey, we're almost 200 likes. That's pretty awesome. Eagle sitting on it to go, and this dude will be pretty well haired up. Phone, didn't I? Yeah, let's see, there we go. Oh, you'll have that sometimes, right? monotonous at this point for him. But I'm gonna finish it. I don't care. I'm gonna finish it. Heck, I might even paint it, but I kind of doubt it. I'll probably wait until tomorrow to paint it. I'm sick. Anyway. But it does it, but it's a lot of work for you can see it. It fights its way through. if y'all can see that the way I got it. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Heck yeah. bad. I'll take this dude and knock it down and see what we got left here. I think it's pretty good overall. I keep hitting that stupid foam cord, which I probably don't even need. Let's brush him off. I'll set it down and we'll do some burning. I'll have to go back to the boss lady for a lighter again. Probably raining by now. But that eagle looks good. Heck yeah. Bigfoot's not too shabby either. I mean, I'm getting it. It's pretty tough to make that small face though. But I'm getting it. Clean him off here real good. I may paint him tomorrow. I'm not in no hurry. I'm going to paint him, I can tell you that. We kind of get an idea what you're looking at that way. A little better. I mean, not that people couldn't tell, but it just stands out so much better painted, I think. Back, you can clean this off real quick. It's getting there. Crazy how that thing collects so much dust. Alright. Look at these eyes are full of dust. Especially this guy smiling. And you know, to me there's no better way to make him. Heck, it looks like you can't even really see. I'm gonna have to sit him like that. There we go, yeah. Well, it's a vertical live stream, so that probably makes more sense anyway. Maybe not to me, but to you guys from what you could see. So, I'm gonna put some fire to this dude. Hold on a minute though, let me see. I might be speaking in haste because if it's raining out there. It's not, it hasn't rained yet. But I'm telling you, that was one heck of a thunderclap out there a minute ago. But, or oh, it wasn't a minute ago now. Yeah, okay, hold on. I need to visit the can. All right, let me get a lighter real quick. I can turn off my dust collector. I'll be right back. Okay, you guys are going to laugh at me. So we live pretty close to a place that sells fireworks. And every year they have a demo show. And I forgot about that demo show. And that's what the thunder was. It wasn't thunder at all. It was that demo show. I'll tell you what, this right here, that's a little rough. I want to clean that up a little bit more before I burn it. Let me do that. I got that on. I do got hand. And it ain't that much, so yeah, I'll turn my dust collector back on and I can buzz that down. But I do want to do it. There's no reason to not try to get it right. I think it's pretty hard on that cake. But anyway, the thunder I heard was the grand finale. They put on a heck of a display out there. I just forgot about it. You know, it's the way it goes. Oh well, don't care that much. I'm old enough. Fireworks don't really mean that much to me anymore. Some of y'all probably agree with that. I don't know. Come on, baby. What the heck? Well, sure like my turbo torch. That's in the carbon shanty. I'm not trying to collar him, I'm just trying to clean him up. He's gonna get painted regardless, so none of that really matters. I'd say I'll do Baby Kisses. Give me a great idea, which was she said that the moon should be done in glow in the dark paint, and I think that's really cool. I don't have it. I have some glow in the dark, but not in a white or a yellow. Nothing you'd use for a moon anyway. Let's see. I'm gonna clean up some of these edges real quick, where you guys can't really see what I'm doing. And I might go ahead and paint my Bigfoot and my eagle. So, there they are. Am I zoomed out? Yeah, kind of, sort of. Not too good, not too bad. Something like that, right? All right, because a little bit of, I guess the thing with that, if you paint the, you paint your Bigfoot, you paint your eagle, is a little bit of something for everybody, because you appeal to that person that likes the flex shaft carving. You appeal to the person in the beginning that likes the chainsaw carving. And, there's a few people when don't mind the paint. But how long have we been on here? Because I don't want to be on here all freaking night. An hour and 16 minutes. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and coat Bigfoot. At least coat the brown. It couldn't hurt. I don't know. Maybe we should do the eagle first. Let's do that. I mean, we carved the eagle first, so maybe we ought to paint the eagle. And we came up with our own color yesterday. It's not black. It's not brown. Therefore it's brown. New color. So a little bit of brown. Not quite as much. A little bit of black. That's probably about right. And that's the color an eagle should be. Mix them two colors together. And you call it brown. I think it's funny. A little too black. Put a little more brown in there. All that for that little tiny eagle. And there we go. And I'll just paint the Bigfoot brown. There we go. That's brown. If you never heard of the color brown, that's it, right there. That reminds me, I was going to do some dry painting, dry white on the feathers of the eagle we did yesterday. I kind of slipped my mind. That's the way it goes. I think I'll paint this eagle and then I'll quit. But if I'm going to paint him, I might as well just paint him, right? I got everything here to do it. So. Really not talking that many colors. Paint this guy. Like I said, a little bit of something for everybody. Get that dude in there. A little better. There we go. The eagle has landed. Long live the eagle, right? Silly. I thought I was going to have too much paint. Now I'm getting concerned that I got enough. Well, last night I made way too much. But you can get a Hobby Lobby every day but Sunday, and you can get more. Dude looks cool as could be. Looks even better, I guess, the white and the yellow beak and all that, right? We'll give that a second to, that's the brown for the eagle's feathers. So we're done with that color. We'll give that a second to dry. We'll do the yellow for the beak before we do the white. Once we have to come in contact with that brown. That stuff dries pretty fast. And I'm no Bob Ross either, you know. Obviously, I don't know if you see me, I don't have an afro. So clearly I'm not a Bob Ross. But, you know, I could be, you know. For the right price, I'd put a wig on, you know. Maybe dance a little bit. Not going to get no more exciting than that, but. Alright. That's bright. That's a bright yellow. He's a toucan eagle. I mean, look, he's kind of like he's a pirate eagle anyway. He's like parrot. He's a parrot eagle. Instead of Pirates of the Caribbean, it's Bigfoots of the Sierra Nevada. I don't know. Right, this particular one here, he'd be a Bigfoot of the Hocking Hills. How about that? Yellow. Mr. Eagle's looking dapper. Not too good, not too good. Let me get the white on there. I know what you're looking at. Not too bad. Man, I can't believe it. 66 people sticking it out to watch me paint a little tiny eagle. That's pretty cool. I kind of like you people. You're all right. I don't know what that flake is. I don't know if I can get it out of there. I'd be okay with it staying too, though. There, I got it out of there, so. Well, I got it out of there, I might as well pick it off, right? You guys ever feel sorry for the boss lady? There, we'll leave it just like that. Okay. Ah, I want that yellow right here, and I covered it up. Oh well. Can't get everything right. I can always go back and fix it, but it's just kind of caricature, and I don't really care that much. I mean, I'm going to sell it anyway. That's the coolest thing about this stuff that I'm finding out pretty much. If I can carve it, I can sell it. And some things I wouldn't buy myself. I mean, I look at it and I'm like, why the heck am I making this? But people like the stuff, so. Don't be picky, right? Somebody's gonna give you money for something. No reason to complain. I'm just gonna get a tiny drop on that one. That's more than a tiny drop. Bigfoot, he'll be excited about his new friend. I call him this, if you look at the thumbnail, I call this the Bromance. Well, Bromance question mark. I wasn't trying to assume anything. Nah, good enough. He looks good enough. Not too bad. Not too good. Something like that, you know. So, y'all don't have to stick with me. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. Oh man, why did I do that? Hey, I had all that white. No, I didn't have any dropped out. Here, let's give Bigfoot some pearly whites. Heck yeah. I'm totally digging this goofy thing. Oh, heck yeah. Not a single cavity either. Not a single cavity. Not one. He's really took good care of his teeth. It's apples. They eat the apples, you know. Yeah. One time I come home and I told the boss lady, I went to the dentist and just get regular teeth clean. And she said, man, you did pretty good. Your teeth did pretty good and all that, you know. And started asking me if I drink alcohol. I'm like, yeah, I like margaritas. And at the time, I really liked margaritas. And I told her, they said, yeah, that's why your teeth look so good, because margaritas are known for keeping your gums and everything in really good shape. And I mean, you gotta feel sorry for the boss lady. I would tell her crazy stuff like that all the time. Yeah, that's what they said there. They said that the reason your teeth look so good is because you drink margaritas. She's like, oh, really? I never heard that before. I'm like, well, there's a reason you never heard that before. It's because I just made it up. Oh, there you go again. Shut up, Joshua. Always run your mouth. That's right. That's what I do good. What do you guys think of this Bigfoot color? Really don't mind the brown. I really wouldn't mind the brown on the Bigfoot. The problem with the brown on the Bigfoot is I want my Bigfoot to have and my eagle to be starkly contrasting. Especially considering we're not sure what a Bigfoot looks like. And this particular brown's got a little bit of a red look to it, so I don't mind it. Bug. Yeah, I'm digging this guy. Pretty good. I mean, I don't want to hug him or nothing, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, every now and then, I gotta be honest with you, every now and then I look up and I'm like, yeah, people are actually watching me paint. I'll be damned. That's cool. You guys want to see as much of it finished as much as I do. I mean, if things are going good, look kind of cool, I get excited about it. You can tell if I ain't very happy about something I'm doing. You can tell, because I may not even finish it. I'll just quit, and I'll finish it later. Yeah, because I'm like, I wasn't live stream worthy. I didn't even like it, you know. But this ain't one of them times. And so, I'm thinking about doing next is a woodchucker and Mark tries to carve inspired honeypot bearer. Chucker did one first. I thought that was really cool. He liked the bathtub bearer that I did, and he thought, well, you know, I'll make a honeypot bearer. And then Mark did it. Mark liked what Chucker did, and he did it. And that's what I got lined up in the carving shanty next, is to carve one of them. That may be tomorrow night. I can tell you right now, I'm not doing my normal Sunday morning. Today was too hard in that pool. Wore me out. I need to sleep in. Especially after this Bigfoot. I mean, the Bigfoot attacked me and stuff, you know, and beat me up. And you guys got to watch the Bigfoot, you know, the big assault and assailant, you know, he's a big old nerd. Let's zoom that out. There we go. And after all this, you know, creator abuse and all that, I mean, going through at the hands of this big guy here. No, this was fun. This is the highlight of my day, without a doubt. Making this thing. And I'll tell you what, I love making carvings. And the side benefit is people actually want to buy this stuff. It's not too hard to sell. And that place that we sell our stuff now is really, really working out for us. I think it may be working out too good, because I got to make enough stuff to keep that place fed and all the shows we've committed to coming up, and work full-time job, so it's hard to do all of it. But that's kind of in my, this is, I don't know, I like to work, I like to stay busy. And exceptionally nice when people like the stuff you got and buy it, so certainly nothing to complain about. Now the hand is going to be some, in the face is going to be some kind of a, I don't know, humanic color, maybe tan or something, you know, something like that. These bugs are going crazy. Look, he got stuck in the paint. There. I'm trying to be nice. I didn't want to kill him. Hopefully he makes it. But he's going to have different colored legs now. The girls are going to, when he comes back home, he's going to look really fancy. The girls are going to say, look at him. He must shop at that Abercrombie place or something. River bug shop. I know I could use a bigger brush, but I ain't that mad at it, you know. Actually, the Bigfoot tone, the tone of this is red oak, and the tone of this wood actually don't look too bad. On his face, but I'd have had to clean the. In order to do that, I'd have had to clean all the surface wood off. And I didn't. So it just as well end up being what it is. It just needs more paint, yeah. Oh, there's a bunch up there and I didn't realize it. He's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'll do the trees and stuff tomorrow. Looking pretty good and happy. I'll at least be able to use him for the thumbnail and stuff, though, anyway. Be pretty cool. But, you know, if you're into painting, I mean, this is kind of a win-win. I did 3 different types of exercises in the same live. Painted and chainsaw carved and flex chef carved. I'm getting tired. I'm going to finish Bigfoot, though. I can tell you that. And I'll try to take a picture of him so I can have him in the thumbnail. Even the green, or you know, the mountain scene, the moon, all that. I mean, the moon's not going to get done until we get that paint anyway. Or I don't know. I might coat it with white. The other thing I learned the other day, I learned how to take the gray, do a gray smudge with my thumb, and make the moon look really good. The one I did, the last one I did, that's how I did it. I did a smudge gray with my thumb, and it just really made that moon look real. I was pretty happy with that. Let's see. Yeah, the brown, it'd be some kind of tan. Now, the last Bigfoot I did, I made his skin was kind of gray. And I don't know if I like that. I mean, honestly, it's probably, if there is a Bigfoot, that's probably what his skin looks like. Kind of gray. Especially when you consider you don't get much sun. You know, he's all hiding and stuff. Bet you guys didn't think of that. One leg and he'd be all brown. And y'all gotta know I'm over it. I'm just trying to get it done. I'll tell you what, there, he's all browned out. My brown color would be a good one for the, just right in here. And a darker to shadow that up. Okay, all right. So let's see what we got. I'll show you. Good screenshot shot of that dude real quick. What we got here. And that is as far as we're going to go with this dude tonight. And what's going on, Last Breath Woodworks, Plywood, John? Well, you know, guys, glad to see you in there. Matthew, heck yeah. Hey, Grumpy, a.k.a. Cheech. Well, you know, buddy, glad to see you guys. I'm glad y'all hung out for this here. I mean, carving's one thing, but, you know, painting is kind of like watching, you know, it's kind of like watching, well, it's like watching paint dry, you know. All right, but anyway, we had a good time anyway. We've been in here for 2 hours and 20 minutes. And hey, Perry, what's going on? Woodchucker, well, you know, buddy, glad to see you. Heck yeah. All right, yeah. Gonna get out John boat, catch some fish in a John boat. I don't blame you. I put my pontoon in Last Breath. I put my pontoon in, yeah, 225. Matthew, that's the highest I've ever had. So I'm really happy with how that went, how this whole live went. And actually, while I was chainsaw carving, it looked like I had the highest viewer numbers I ever had, too. So that was kind of cool. And we'll go back and see. But I knew this flex shaft stuff probably wouldn't be as cool, but it is. I mean, it still had a lot of views. But that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about that. But hey, Michael, send a thumbs up. That's awesome, buddy. I appreciate it. So that's as far as we're gonna get with him today. Hey, you schmuck. What's going on, old Path? Glad to. Hey, I'm gonna make shirts. I'll have them on the fourth wall this week. They're gonna say, either come back when you can stay later, you schmuck, or just you schmuck, or the hand finger pointing and saying schmuck, something like that in the Bear and the Boss Lady logo. That's what I'm thinking. I put hats on there that say make wood great again. And then we got we got coffee cup, 2-size coffee cups on there. But I'm gonna make them shirts. I think that'd be pretty cool. Oh well. Hey guys, I appreciate y'all being in here with me. I'm not doing tomorrow morning like I normally would. Hey, Mark, what's going on? Heck yeah, man. I appreciate you being in there. And the inspiration with that honey bear. You and Chucker, you guys got me wanting to do that now. So that's going to be more than likely what I do tomorrow night. But that's what we got. I appreciate you guys being in there. And, hey, Michael, I appreciate that, buddy. Okay, well, I'll leave you guys alone. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully, definitely not tomorrow morning. And y'all know the drill. Come back when you can stay later, you